and welcome to the Housing and Construction channel. Do you have any questions on housing? Do you have any questions on construction? Are there any questions on designs bothering you? This channel is where all your housing and construction needs are addressed. I am Bash, your host, and today I'm here at the Blay, which is a residential development here in Oyarifa. Join me as I interview Kwabena and Kwame Peprah, real estate developers who are going to share their thoughts, experiences, their journey in the world of real estate, and then what this facility has to offer. So do stay tuned and join me as we delve into the Blay. So come with me. Hello and welcome to the Housing and Construction channel. Ultimately, this is where all your housing needs are addressed. My name is Bash and I am your host. Now today on this episode, we have two iconic figures here with me, Kwame and Kwabena Peprah. Recently they embarked on a 10,000 kilometer trip from Accra to London, which was all over the place. They made headlines and this is a very great feat to achieve. So they are here with us. We are at the Blay, which is a residential development in Oyarifa, Accra. And we are going to, have an interaction with them, a discussion with them on how the trip went and talk more about our housing and construction needs. So thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Kwabena Peprah and Kwame Peprah. Thank you for having us. Okay. Congratulations on your trip, to London. I can only imagine, how was it? Can you throw some light, tell us how it went?
I would summarize by saying it was a lot of fun. It had its ups and downs. And we had fun while sticking off one of our bucket list items. Yeah.
I read online and saw some articles on how it came up before you went. I hear you were having a drink, a whiskey or something, and then the idea came. How true is that?
Oh yes, in such market.
Because there's something so out of the world, to drive from Accra to London.
Right. No, the truth is, it's something we've been discussing for a very long time. Yeah. My friends and I, and we only firmed it up over a tipple. One of us brought something nice. We were sipping on but the trip, what's up? Why don't we do it? So we argued, okay, let's do it. We selected a date and started planning towards it. Wow. Then COVID came and scattered our plans. We're going to have left on 25th July 2020. So COVID put pay to those plans. We waited. In between, we did lots of trips, local trips. We've gone around Ghana on countless times.
I think I'll join you one time because how you have been embarking on trips, it's quite exciting.
Sure, we use any excuse to get out of Accra to do so. You need to hear for funeral, someone you don't know, is remotely related. Yeah, Charlie, let's get out of Accra, free our mind. Driving out of Accra with the windows down, fresh air, all these greenery, it's therapeutic for me generally. So we have a saying, the journey is a destination. If you want to go to Wa, it's not Wa that is we want to achieve. It's the process of getting from here to Wa. Okay. Moving along, stopping in chobas to Ifufu. It's all part of the journey. You see nice things, you take pictures.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's how it started out.
Yeah. So particularly on the trip, I'm quite interested. I can only imagine how it went. So during the journey on your way, I'm sure you slept, you ate, you packed. How was that experience? Can you just give us a glimpse, a bit of that?
Generally, we drive off very early in the mornings. Okay, so let me put it this way: moving westwards from Accra. Yeah. Through Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, still heading west. The advantage was that it used to get later. It gets dark maybe 7:30, 8 once you start heading in this direction. Yeah. Okay, so we kick off as early as 4 a.m., 5 a.m. and we gun it. So you would be doing sometimes 14, 16-hour drives. But of course, we do stop. We stop for tea breaks. We stop for meals and all sorts of things. And sometimes we see a nice mountain and we just stop. We enjoy the views, take some pictures. Yeah. Right. So it's an all-day affair. You get to your next town, your hotel, You have a meal, have a shower, sit by the pool or whatever, chat.
And what about the borders, you know?
Yeah, the borders,
Yes.
the borders, you need to go through them, unfortunately. I mean, we say we have ECOWAS, but it's not like the EU. The free movement doesn't really exist. It's just on paper. Yeah, each border crossing will take you a long time. You go through processes for the people, processes for the cars. Allowed 2-3 hours in some cases for a border crossing. Right? So that eats into your time. That's how come we do very early setups and late endings, because there are places you travel for like 1,000 kilometers in one day. And you are going to stop for 2.5 to 3 hours to cross a border. So that takes away from the active time you are driving. Yeah, so we sort of 4 or 5 depending on the distance ahead for that day. Then we cross and then carry on.
Wow, very interesting. So did you drive back or?
No, we ship the cars.
Oh, okay.
We had to fly back and sell some houses, Charlie. It's not easy.
Mr. Kwame Peprah. So how about your experience? You know, was it any different from his? I know you were together, but were you in the same car? You were in different cars.
We're in the same car.
In the same car. Oh, it wasn't so different but from your perspective, from your side of the experience.
Just as you mentioned, in Africa, the free movement of goods and services doesn't exist. It's only on paper. Because once you enter Europe, you actually sometimes miss the signs that you cross from a different country into another country. I mean, sometimes it's only after a while that you realize on your phone from the network that you've jumped onto the roaming network of another country. You barely notice the signs that you are moving from Austria into Switzerland or vice versa. So it was very, very, very exciting. The execution was that flawless because even before we left, where you spend the night, and the next night was planned, because you don't just set off that you are driving for 1,000 kilometers to where, because your 1,000 could actually lead you to a small village where there are no hotels. We had that unfortunate experience where we ended up in one small town, and the best hotel we could find it wasn't possible for us to spend the night in the rooms, so we actually spent the night in the cars.
So talking about the town, so were there some peculiar, cultural traits, different communities? Were there some things?
Oh yes, I mean, right from the very, very beginning, as you leave Ghana, as you leave Sunyani, you start experiencing the culture changing slightly, subtly. I mean, the closer you are to home, the closer things are familiar. But as you move away, you see the culture changing ever so slightly. And then the further we went, the further the culture. I mean, all of a sudden there was no more pepper in our foods, for example.
So is this something you see yourself doing again anytime soon, or some number of times again?
So we haven't gotten to the destination, because the destination is the journey. So far as we have air in our lungs and there's fuel to power vehicles, you'll see us on the road going somewhere.
Wow. Well, is there some sort of form we can feel to join? Because I'm sure some of us out there...
There isn't an organization like that. This is a collection of friends and very good friends, if I may say. An exclusive group of very good friends who decide to hang together. So it's not an organization that has a membership that is fixed, but it's a very close, informal organization. So the first qualification really would be to become a friend of the group.
Yeah. Wow. That's very interesting. But that's fine. But congratulations once again.
Thank you.
This is a very, very big feat you've done. And as Ghanaians, we are very proud. We're very proud to have this. As part of this, we also know that you are businessmen and, real estate developers. At what point in time did you decide to go into real estate, and, how is the journey of a real estate developer? What are some tips you can give out there for someone who's coming up and interested in going into real estate? I don't know, anyone can.
Well, I started this journey a very long time ago. I've actually even lost track of how long it's been.
Wow.
And it wasn't straight into development. I started out being a realtor in New York City.
Okay.
And it evolved into selling houses for Ghanaian real estate companies in Ghana. through a website we had then a long time ago called GhanaEstates.com. It's dead now. Now, as you sell homes to people, you become friends with them. And even though you are not the builder, they come to you with all their problems, And sometimes, because my market is primarily out of Ghana, you have to be falling back on to get people to fix some of those problems for them. So one thing led to another point you realize, if I'm getting these people these houses with problems, why don't I build them houses without problems myself? So that's how the journey began, from 1 house, 2 houses, 3 houses, to where we are at the moment. It's been 20-something years.
Wow, that's quite.
Yeah. Along the line, I realized, Charlie, I'm tired. I need to tone down, get some help. Kwame was in oil. He joined me. He's smart enough, so he has all the skills to do stuff. He's a DIY person, so he took over. So Kwame is actually the one who runs this company. I come up with the crazy ideas, and he run with it and implement. He's my partner now.
What are some notable projects you have, and probably some impact they've served in some particular communities they are in?
Well, the biggest project I've been involved in is the Apollonia City project. This is by a foreign company called Rendeva.
Okay.
So they're actually building a whole new city of over 2,300 acres. And in there, I did a joint venture with them over a smaller unit called the Oxford. So the Oxford at Apollonia City, we're built to build 600 homes. We've currently done just about 100 and counting. So that's a big project I really enjoy being part of. Out here, we've done Rocky's Nest, Reed Square, and a few individual standalone houses all over the place. That has been coming for a very long time, various locations. You get some plot to build 2-3 houses, you flip. They are all over the place. But in clusters, you talk about Reed Square, Rocky's Nest, the Blay now, the Oxford, those have been put together.
Yeah. And also, it's quite a fact that land is very key in real estate. So, as part of your endeavors, in your plannings, what sets your approach apart from, other real estate developers out there?
You're right. Land is the biggest problem for Ghanaian real estate developers. The fact that you can buy a plot clean and then you'd avoid litigation.
Yeah.
So due diligence is key. Before you touch any land, you make sure you've done all your due diligence. It could be the legal bit of it, which is normally not, enough. You need to go on the ground, get people on the ground to give you an idea. Has there been any fight on this plot before? Do you know any backstory? Because sometimes the person with the legal ownership doesn't have possession. Someone else has possession on the ground, maybe even without any document. So you can go the legal way, you come with your documents, and you've just bought a fight. So you need to do lots of due diligence to secure land before you touch it.
Yeah, so what influences, the selection of the right location for
Right. Every development, we start with a target in mind of who we identify as the buyer of that property. So when you conceive the design, you ask, who will buy this? Who is your typical customer? From there, the question follows, where would he like to live? Which neighborhood? So in looking for land for specific projects, you look at the character of the neighborhood. Is it that you want access roads fully tarred? You want all the amenities there? Of course, these cost more. There could also be products that you have neighborhoods where it's not really well developed, but it helps cheaper prices on the land, so you transfer it to lower cost homes. Yeah. So the product determines the location.
Okay. And being such an adventurous person, did that inform your real estate ambition in any way?
Well, adventure in real estate, the confluence is that currently we are looking at doing lots of holiday homes along the Volta River, because we do take road trips there every now and again. And so bridging the two, we're looking at putting up a couple of holiday homes, resorts, things that would allow us to travel, to have fun. At the same time, it would be work.
Yeah.
So that's also ongoing. It's in the pipeline.
And what about you, Mr. Kwame Peprah? So, before you were in oil and later you came into the real estate, how has the journey been being in partnership with your brother in the industry?
It's been interesting because the most beautiful thing in real estate is to see the birth of a concept and to see it being executed to the end. So you walk to a place, it's bare land, and you come back and sit down and plan what to develop there, how to position it, and you get on the ground and actually start building it. I mean, every day when you come to work or you go to the site, you see the building growing.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to your farm and you see your foodstuffs growing. It's exciting. I've been into real estate for about 7 years now, and it's interesting. I'm a fast learner, so any field you ask me to go in, I will thrive.
Yeah. We also know that as real estate developers, your clients are mostly held in high esteem. Are there any challenges that comes with that managing clients? Because managing people can be quite difficult. So we want to know from your perspective and your experience as a real estate developer, client management and control. How has the experience been?
For that, we normally have a product that exists as is. And when you come in to buy, what you see is what you get. Fortunately for us, we do a good job and we seldom have anybody coming back with queries on the product developed. So what you see is what you get. We give you after sales support for any defects liability. You have a period which we give you the buyer, within which period you have any issues, we would come in and fix it. Like pretty much like your after sales service on a car.
So like I said before, we are at the Blay, and this is a residential development in Oyarifa, Accra. So now, can you please tell us about the Blay, the facilities over here, what makes this development stand out from what is out there, and what went into the thought process and the conception of this project?
Thank you, and welcome once again to the Blay.
Thank you.
So the Blay is a residential project of 17 4-bedroom homes and 7 2-bedroom apartments, all fully fitted. So if you take every house, for example, you have wardrobes, air conditioners installed in the bedrooms. You have a kitchen that is fully fitted out with a fridge, the entire cabinetry, washing machine, cooker hob, oven, extractor, the works, completely sorted out. So when you move into one of our properties, you are basically coming with your cooking utensils and your sofas and beds. Everything else is provided for. You have a private garden at the back. You have a private garden in front with a pergola. It is powered, so you can work at night outdoors. The community has ancillary services like a generator, a backup generator. We actually have our own transformer that is serving the community because we didn't want to have what we typically call brownouts or low current. So we have our own transformer, we have our own 400 kVA backup generator, and then we have our own borehole that is treated through an RO, a reverse osmosis machine that is serving our community exclusively. We also have a park for kids to play, a playground internally within the secure zone. You have a swimming pool, you have a gym exclusively for the use of homeowners and their private guests.
Wow.
So this is what we have for you at the Blay.
This is a place I think I'd like to live.
You would love to. So we are not just selling houses to you because there are lots of houses. What we sell to you is a space, it's a community. I mean, you would never know that you need to use a Kufo gallon to buy diesel to fill the generator because it is being handled by the community services. So the pool is clean all the time. You have no idea who cleaned it. When there's power outage, you just hear the gen come on and you have power. we are selling an experience. You are secure. There's CCTV backup. There's man guards. So you come from town when you are tired. There's someone to welcome you at the gates. You go inside. You close your mind to all issues of security and how to live comfortably. You wouldn't even know when your garbage is picked up. All you know is that the garbage is handled.
Oh, and I mean, that's also very good because regarding the experience image, I also noticed you use very fine finishes. You know, the kind of finishes, the materials used for the buildings, the paintings, the walls. It looks so fine, detailed, and very refined, you know. Can you tell us, in the thinking process, what exactly do you want your clients to, you know, achieve? Or how do you want them to enjoy the space? Because with such fine finish, you know, and good attention to detail, of course. I mean, that's a very good, you know, thought process along the line. So what exactly do you have in mind while you were coming up with it?
Let me say that one of the things we do initially for every project, we ask ourselves, would you live there yourself? Would you be comfortable? That's us. In what we are trying to develop for the community, for the public to buy. And anytime we've been able to answer yes, we go all out, because if I can enjoy it as it is, and we've actually moved in many of our communities at the end when we didn't plan to in the beginning. We built that and it ends up, we like it so much, let's move there, we move there. Move to another one, so we keep going. We are basically nomads. But you build it as if you would live there. You give it your heart, you put all your soul in it, and people just love it. We've not been advertising. Why? Most of the time, our residents, our homeowners, they tell their friends.
They recommend people.
Yes, so you'll be there, you get a call from someone, he says, I'm a friend of so and so, he says, you sold him a house. That could be 3 years down the line, you know. So it's about putting yourself in the shoes of a buyer. What would a buyer want in a home they are buying? And it's not every buyer who even knows what they want. But sometimes you walk into the house like, oh, I didn't think of this. Thank you for thinking of it for me. You know, so that's how it is. We consider ourselves customers first and design to meet our needs. And then voila.
Wow. So from this, I can tell that your clients are very satisfied, you know.
Yes, most definitely. Wow. Most definitely.
This is something that we are doing. In terms of, you know, prices, how affordable are they, you know?
Well, I wouldn't ask how affordable they are. I would ask, what do you get for what you pay?
Okay.
Right, because you can get a price point at any level.
Yeah.
However, what are you getting? See, all the things Kwame described as being in there contribute to the value you're getting. Unfortunately, we're not done with this community yet, so you've not seen the roads completed. What you see now is just a crash rock base. We're now going to put on 60 millimeter, asphalt finish with all the thermoplastic markings, cut ice. When you have all of this, it comes at a price. But then when you come home, you are supposed to breathe and say, yes, I've hustled and I'm comfortable. You know?
Yes.
So yes, our prices are not chicken change. They are quite high, but it's because you are getting a good value for money.
Yeah. I would like to know, do you have any future projects, you know, that you are yet to work on or you're already working on down the pipeline?
We currently have 2 new projects in Oyaifra and 1 new project in East Legon. We normally finish developing before we sell. However, if you choose to want a lower price, as in a promotional price, then you are advised or encouraged to come in during the development phase, because once the product is completely developed, the prices are high because of the cost of funds. But if you also want to get the same value at a relatively cheaper price, then you could come in when the project is at its inception or before it is completed. As we speak, this particular location is at $240,000 today, but in a couple of months when the asphalt is laid up, the price will change to $250,000 and it will not be negotiable.
I noticed the Charlie Water and it's such a privilege.
Akamilas.
Yeah, it's called
Akamilas.
Yeah, I get the question a lot of why the Charlie Water.
Yeah.
Right, now you are an architect, I suppose.
Yes.
Yeah. You are taught in school that form follows function, right? So for me, it's always function over form. This is comfortable. I won't wear it into the nail-infested site. I'll wear steel toe boots, but to get around generally, this is very comfortable for me. And so driving over 10,000 kilometers was the best choice. I didn't have to keep my feet heated up in shoes or trainers for 16 hours in a day. These, you just put them aside, you drive. Once you're getting out, you wear them right on you, there you go.
Yeah, indeed, function over form. Yeah, and I can see how it also translates even in the spaces that you work in. You consider the clients first, how they're going to use the space functionally.
It's not too important. Once the form flows properly, the function flows properly, the form will bring itself out. Many people these days want to build homes and they start, I want it to look like that house. Once you start from that premise, you got it wrong because you are forcing it to look like the house. You should describe what you want the house to do for you. When you get that function sorted out, its form will bring itself out. And as for elements to make it look nice, diamond doesn't.
You're talking like an architect, actually.
I've just hung around with too many architects. That's the point.
Because most clients are, very particular about how it looks like, but from the professional point, from that's good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again. So I think now we can delve into the showcase. We can
Sure. We can take you around.
Okay. So stay tuned and we'll be right back with you. So there you have it, folks. Thank you for joining us during our discussion, which was very, very, very educative and inspiring. Once again, my name is Bash. If you have any questions regarding sales enquiry, regarding whatever we spoke about today, there's a link in the video description below. Please do not hesitate to click on that link. As you already know, keep your comments coming. We like hearing from you so that we can tailor our content according to your need. This is the Housing and Construction channel. Thank you for joining us. Until we meet again.